Long ago, in the mysterious lands of the East, there lived a people whose lives were rooted in farming. They often faced trouble from nomadic tribes coming down from the northern grasslands. Mulan's family had served in the military for generations. They lived on land given by the imperial court. She lived with her aging parents, a married sister, and her little brother. She wasn't married and chose to stay home to help her family. Her father wanted her to leave the military household and live a normal life like everyone else. But Mulan didn't want that. She just wanted to stay home and take care of her parents. One day, the Ruan Khaganate launched a massive invasion of the northern borders. The emperor was shocked and gave an urgent order. Every military household must send one man to join the army. Because Mulan had no eligible brother, her family was combined with their neighbors. The neighbors sent 2 men to fight, and Mulan's family took care of the military expenses. The Northern War kept going with no end in sight. It became a long, grinding war of attrition. Taxes were getting heavier, so Mulan had to work harder and harder. The emperor called for an even bigger draft. Now, no one was spared, not even the elderly. Mulan's father was on the list. Every day, her father grew weaker. And Mulan knew, if he went to war this time, he wouldn't come back. She kept it from her father, bought a horse and armor, and disguised herself as a man. Then she left, alone, toward the army camp. When she reported to the army, the officer recognized Mulan's father as his old comrade in arms. He sympathized with Mulan and tried to protect her. She was assigned to defend the Great Wall. One day, the emperor made a bold move. He gambled the fate of the nation on a massive northern campaign. The empire's most elite soldiers were summoned, divided into multiple units, and sent deep into the desert to crush the Ruan once and for all. While stationed at the wall, Mulan often spoke with an old and respected veteran, who shared harrowing stories of his youth, battles against the Ruan, long before her time. Then, a war report arrived. The front lines were in trouble. Mulan and her unit were urgently ordered to reinforce the frontline troops. Mulan's unit had just left the Great Wall when they saw something terrible. A small group of wounded, tired soldiers was running south. Soon, the truth became clear. The Northern Army had fallen into a trap. Deep in the desert, the Ruan attacked them with a surprise ambush. The soldiers fought hard, but the loss was huge. Their general was dead. As they marched, Mulan's unit picked up more survivors along the way. One by one, they told the same story. All the other armies had also failed. Now, Mulan's unit was the last army still in the desert. As they went deeper into the desert, they faced stronger and stronger resistance from the Ruan. Soldiers were dying every day. The enemy's attacks came like waves. Mulan's troops fought bravely and pushed them back again and again. But there were no new soldiers to replace the fallen. And a few days ago, their supply line was cut off. Finally, they reached a wide grassland. There, they learned why the Ruan attacks kept increasing. This was where the Ruan raised their sheep. They saw tents in the distance. The Ruan Khan had gathered a huge army here. He wanted to destroy Mulan's unit once and for all. Mulan's army stood alone against the Ruan, like a small candle in the wind. This was not a fair fight. However, Mulan had already gotten used to all kinds of unfairness in her life. Fortunately, the Ruan army wasn't in a hurry to attack. It was like they were enjoying the moment. Then Mulan remembered a story the old veteran had told her at the Great Wall. Inspired by that story, she came up with a bold plan. But this plan would cost many lives. Mulan didn't know how to convince the others. To her surprise, everyone believed the plan could work. Mulan's army began to get into position. The Ruan were surprised by what they saw. Mulan put all the foot soldiers in front and kept the cavalry in the back. The Ruan sensed something strange and quickly launched an attack. But that was exactly what Mulan needed. The infantry were quickly surrounded by the enemy. But thanks to their bravery and their sacrifice, a gap was finally opened. At that moment, Mulan remembered a story told by the old veteran. Years ago, during a battle, he got separated from his unit. He wandered into a wide, open grassland. It was a ruined pasture. Only a few ruins were guarding it. The old soldier made a bold move. He drove the sheep away. To his surprise, the ruins backed off. Now, in the middle of this hopeless battle, Mulan pinned her hopes on that story. Mulan and her cavalry charged toward the gap. The Ruan army quickly sensed something was wrong. They started chasing from behind. But it was too late. After breaking through, Mulan's unit rushed toward the flock of sheep on the open grassland. Then, the cavalry lit their flags. These flags had been soaked in oil, prepared in secret. No one in the Ruan army expected this. One by one, the cavalry threw the burning flags onto the dry grass. Flames erupted. The sheep, now on fire, ran in panic across the field. Wherever they ran, fire followed. The wind grew stronger. In moments, the entire grassland became a sea of fire. The fire threw the Ruan army into total chaos. They suffered heavy losses. Many of their tents burned. Their precious flocks were lost in the flames. Furious, the Ruan Khan took brutal revenge. He ordered the destruction of Mulan's entire army. But the Khan did not kill Mulan. Instead, he turned his army around and disappeared back into the desert. Mulan collapsed in the sand. Someone found her. She was brought back to the imperial palace. News of the Ruan's defeat spread across the country. The emperor was pleased and announced a reward for Mulan. After, someone reported that Mulan was a woman. The emperor was very angry. He withdrew the reward and executed her and her family. However, other officials warned that such action could cause unrest. Ultimately, after imprisoning Mulan for several years, the emperor released her home. Mulan returned to her hometown. The town was in ruins. Most families had lost someone in the war. The emperor had forbidden public funerals. Many families continued to wait for sons or husbands who would never return. Some villagers looked at Mulan with silent blame. For a moment, Mulan thought of the Ruan Khan. Mulan returned home. A young boy came out of the doorway. He looked confused and asked who she was. Then, Mulan's sister appeared. When she saw Mulan, she understood what had happened. Their parents had died from sadness not long after Mulan left. Mulan's younger brother had grown up, joined the army, and died in battle. Her sister's husband had also died in the war. The boy was Mulan's nephew. Mulan and her sister hugged. They cried together. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's story.